Hey there, Jacksons. Welcome to Legends Live. It looks like we're having a little bit of technical difficulties with Stephen Howard, but we'll get him fixed. So welcome to all of our viewers. You are watching Legends Live, presented by the National Basketball Retired Players Association, the official home of WNBA and NBA legends. And today is a very special day as we talk about passing the game. And we have a really great father-son duo here from professional basketball. We have NBA champion and NBA legend Jaren Jackson Sr. And then we have current Memphis Grizzlies Jaren Jackson Jr. So hey guys, how are you doing?
Great. How you doing? It's good to see you guys.
Yeah, you too. I'm going to see if we can get Stephen Howard back. Hey, Stephen, can you unmute yourself?
Hear me now?
There you go.
There we go.
All right.
I channeled a little bit of my my mom's technical difficultiness with all the times I try to FaceTime her, and I just became my mom for a second. So yeah, that was really awkward. So we got the Jacksons here, one of NBA's favorite father and son duos. We got Jaren Jackson Sr, Jaren Jackson Jr. How are we doing during this quarantine and pandemic and the new normal? How are we doing?
Oh, we are trying to hang out or hang in, you might say. It's been tough, but it's been pretty good to spend a lot of time with the family and for us to kind of be together. That's been kind of cool too. As you know, Steve, when you're playing ball, you're kind of traveling all over the place and you lose those little moments where you're not spending time with your own kids. But now, hey, we're kind of forced to hang out and hang in the house. So it's been, in that sense, it's been good, but everybody's itching for basketball. So that's kind of a bummer. So we'll see.
I saw the way Junior looked at you kind of like, man, Pops is getting on my last nerve. How's it going with you being around, Pops and the whole family?
Yeah, no, like you said, we've been around each other so much. It feels like I'm in grade school. So, I'll go back and forth to my place and their place. So I get a little break sometimes, but for the most part, I'll be kicking it with them, and it's been fun though. I mean, we get a lot accomplished as a family. We play a lot of card games. We watch a lot of like old games. We watch a lot of my games. We watch just, me and my dad watch a lot of basketball. So that's been fun.
Okay, so where are you guys located right now?
So we are in Memphis right now.
Okay, you're in Memphis. Okay,
yeah, we're in Memphis. So we're kind of not going anywhere.
It's his house. His house
right.
in Memphis. His house.
So yeah.
Okay.
So my son has his own place, but he feels like hanging out with us.
I'll come kick it. Might as well,
When he wants to eat well, we know where he goes.
Yeah, eat free.
Yes, he comes out. He comes out and hang out with mom, hang out with grandma and grandmama. I better say that. Yes, and we all get a chance to kind of smile and have a good time, man. You got to think of all the little old games you used to play when you were a kid, trying to occupy yourself while you're in the house. At the same time, find a way to make the house spick and span clean.
When you guys are playing cards, how does that go with two ultra competitive, guys, senior and junior? Who lets the competition get too much of themselves and just like loses themselves? Which one of you is that?
I mean, it's just like some people like there's always rules in cards, and sometimes people can tend to forget the rules and go off.
Oh.
And if I'm calling you out on you're not following the rules, then everybody wants to get all no, and then there's yelling and stuff like that. It's not just us though. It's my mom, it's my grandma. So they're both super competitive too. Like you definitely talk a lot of trash.
We talk trash, man. You talk just like any other game. So you imagine playing cards, playing the old games from back in the day, spades or whatever. But we are famous for our. My son introduced the presidents to us.
Nice.
Kind of like Uno, It's a fun little game, man. And we've been kind of, occupying our time
for sure,
playing those games. And
we'll play that. We'll put on a movie, put on Netflix, put on.
Binge watching
whatever.
Netflix stuff, watching CNN. Everybody's watching CNN, so it's got to find a way to occupy your time, and sometimes it's tough. Sometimes.
So how do we differentiate each other in the house? Is it Pops and Junior, or how does that work out?
I mean, shoot, you can just, in the past, you could just tell by tone of voice. Usually it's like in terms of someone calling us.
Yeah, like how do they refer to you guys in the house? Is it?
I mean, usually neither of us answer, so we don't
want to. Oh, both of
we don't want to answer. We're just like, all right, if you really, like, if it was really important, you'll come say it. You'll say the whole name, or you'll say Junior, or you'll say, like, if I don't hear Junior, I'm not responding. Unless, like, it's on him then.
Oh, you say, let's see, in this house, let me see. So he's Jay Jr. and I'm Jay.
Okay.
I'm Jay. So, but talking to each other, I would call him Jay. He would call me Pops or my new nickname, which is Chief. I just want to put it out there. Yeah, so
Chief right here.
Chief,
Chief,
it's so.
So is that like Kobe when he kind of named himself Black Mamba? You just created your new name, Chief.
He's been Chief since I was like 10.
Yeah. It's been
Chief to me and my friends. Like everybody just like, it's like, who that? I mean, that's Chief. Chief, Chief's coaching. Chief.
So as a grassroots coach, been when he was at high school and now, and when I see all these younger players, they refer to me as not only as coach, but I have fun with it. They can call me Chief, and so it's kind of stuck with me. So now I got family members calling me that, and at times, so I have a lot of fun with it, man. So it's kind of cool. So now, I mean, I got people who don't know me, or maybe they've heard something. Instead of calling me Jaren, like, "What's up, Chief?" I'm like, Chief.
Very nice.
I've added that to everything now. I even let him know when he's playing. I'm like, shoot that ball, Chief. So now it's kind of sticking. So we have a lot of fun with. So much respect to Native Americans and the Kansas City Chiefs, the champs. But
my God,
I don't mind being Chief.
I'm not even going that far.
What's up, Chief?
It ain't all that. But
come on, Chief.
So Jay, you grew up in New Orleans. What ward are you from? My mom's from the 9th ward. I mean the 7th ward. Sorry.
We get the wards mixed. That's all right. 12th ward.
Okay.
12th ward.
Okay.
So I miss home, man. I always talk about it here in the household, and I'm so. I try to keep up with all my folks down there to see how they're doing, and I hope the best for them because I know that was somewhat of a hot spot at this moment, and I think things are getting better. Like everywhere else, things are getting better. But that was hot spot, so I think about them a lot. Hope your folks are doing well down there, man.
Well, my parents are in Dallas. My mom told my dad, hey, we can live anywhere but New Orleans. So you know how that is. Love to visit, but living there is different. Now, speaking of home and growing up in New Orleans, how did you get introduced to basketball, senior? Just to the senior.
Man, we've been. I have a large family full of ball players, man. So it was kind of the thing to do back in the day, playing ball. So I mean, I played that since I can remember. I mean, but it was back in the day. It was instead of the little basketball goals that you go and purchase for your kid, put in the driveway. No, it was old school. It was the bike, the bicycle rim, and you take folks out, nail it up on a tree, and that's the hoop. And you never had any nets. You had that type of atmosphere when I was little. So I think those are some of the stories that I got to continue to tell my son about how it was. These young kids got blessed to have your typical nice basketball goal in the driveway. I didn't have a way. The driveway is out. We played on the street, you know. So we had to let the cars go by before you take the next shot. So it was cool. But I mean, I played since I was a baby. My whole family, all my older brothers, they played. So and that was just the beginning, man. So basketball was kind of in our family.
So playing in the NBA, then you have a son. So obviously there's going to be a lot of pressure of having a son following your footsteps, and then there's going to be the comparisons. That's always going to be there for people. So how did you introduce Jaren Jr. to basketball, and how did you keep it fun without all that pressure and comparisons that come with being the son of an NBA great?
That's a good comment, man. I always wanted to make when introducing the game to Jaren Jr. That he enjoys it and plays and have fun with it. And as you get older, the further along you go in the game, the harder it gets. The more competitive it is, more pressure.
Absolutely.
So it's no longer the innocent game that you played when you were a kid. And so I'd say that to this day, for him to have fun playing, even when he's in the pressure situations. But I mean, what do you do, Junior? Just to have fun with the game. I try to just say.
I mean, I like it anyway. Like I was fortunate enough to love it on my own. So there wasn't any like problems. I didn't really. I mean,
I didn't force it on you. I mean,
I didn't force it on me. I tried a bunch of weird sports before I tried, or while I was doing basketball, I was doing a bunch of stuff like during. So like I didn't probably stick to just basketball until like middle school, and then it was just basketball because I loved it more than everything else. But no, I was pretty much chilling. I didn't really have that much pressure from him. It was probably pressure from like others to be great. But at the end of the day, I want to be great too. So everybody's kind of on the same type of time. Like I'm not worried about pressure because I mean I want to be great just as badly as other people want to see me be great. So it's cool.
So Junior, when did you learn that your dad was a big deal? When was that? And what did that feel like?
I knew in like grade school, just because like I mean, everybody wanted it. Like I would change schools pretty often, not like very often, but like enough where I mean, if I got to a new school, I wouldn't tell anybody my dad played like basketball because everybody was just gonna be like, oh my God, like everybody got something to say, and then everybody want to come over to the house because the house was big, so stuff like that. Like I just knew like. I kind of
had those good snacks.
Yeah, like I never resented that. Sometimes I was like, man, dude, like everybody love you. Like I think I thought that like once or twice early on because everybody loved Chief, man. Everybody whatever. But that faded after grade school, and then it was just whatever.
I didn't love him in college. I'll just throw that out there right now because he played. There was nothing to love when he was with the Hoya Paranoia. But it was still respect though. It was a lot of respect because
that was the days when I think the Hoyas and the Blue Demons we were strong, man. The teams were very good, man. So no disrespect to the squads these days, but we were. That was the good old days, man, when college ball was just incredible. And I try to share that a little bit with him, although, he can throw Michigan State in my face,
right
there and how well they played. He can throw that in my face a little bit, but I can sit here and tell you,
we're just, I mean,
come on, our squad, my squad at
they're grimy.
Georgetown.
They're grimy. Y'all
hey,
grimy.
Check this out. Myself, Alonzo Mourning, Mutombo. Now you met those guys already, right? Imagine that they're old. Yeah, they're old now, of course. But imagine those guys. I'm on the team with them, with my man Charles Smith, the point guard.
No,
I have my homeboy Dwayne Brown.
It's a good team
against Michigan State.
Yeah, y'all just wouldn't win
against Miles Bridges and the crew.
We would just out talent you.
No way. Come on, man. Georgetown, Michigan State.
You'd have to play so hard, man. It'd be your championship game.
I'll tell you this. I wouldn't have to guard you.
Don't matter.
Well, you're bringing up something interesting though, because Senior, you played at Georgetown, like you mentioned, when they were at its apex, and for me, you played on the iconic Georgetown team. You just missed playing with Ewan by 1 year, but like you said, you played with Mourning, Mutombo, Gateway, Williams, and those teams were super talented. And for me, like that was that cross sectional of when basketball, sports, and culture was kind of intersecting, and music became a huge part of it. And so you guys, to me, were kind of like, and I wanted to go to Georgetown. I think any African American kid at that time, for what Georgetown stood for, wanted to go there. You had Big John on the sidelines. And so you guys to me were like Public Enemy. Like, y'all didn't take it from anybody. Y'all were dishing it. How did you get, your son to, did you ever kind of teach him that kind of mix between music and sports? And like, I know you're a big EPMD fan. So like, how did you, like what was on your playlist back then, and how did you get him to understand like that relation between music and how it fuels athletes and that kind of relationship between the two?
Steve, I not only did I do it in the past, but even to this day, I want him to appreciate, old school hip hop or some R&B. Yeah, he gets on me, when I bring up EPMD or Gangstar and Rakim.
Yeah,
legends, man, back in the day that was our pregame hype. That was my playlist on. I don't know if we had the little earbuds. They got the earbuds now, but what did we have, like little cushion headsets?
Yeah, it was cushion. It was not noise canceling at all. You heard all the other noise.
But all of those different groups were part of that time in which it resonated with, believe it or not, Georgetown basketball. I think it just that's what made Georgetown so great. And I try to share those stories with him, and he's trying to establish his own path with music. I don't know what this music stuff is.
Okay, so Junior, what's on your playlist now? Like what do you rock to pregame?
Shoot, I mean, I listen to Gunna. I listen to Gunna, like Lil Baby, Young Thug, Lil Key, like a lot of Atlanta stuff. Pre-game, we were playing Rest His Soul, Pop Smoke. We play Pop Smoke probably before every game this year. Like we were playing that NBA YoungBoy a lot. Yeah, man, I don't play like. I mean, I respect all old rap. I think that's dope. Like it paved the way for what we got now, and the same with like players. Like it goes hand in hand with athletes and the league and stuff like that.
No Biggie in it, Tupac.
No, like I'm not putting that on. Like they're great and all that, but like for what?
So you don't have any old school mixed into your new school playlist? Before you. Playing none of that.
I got like some Kanye, some Jay-Z. Like I like their stuff. I think their stuff is popping. I like Lil Wayne. Like I listen to a lot of Lil Wayne.
Lil Wayne, okay.
Dope. But I mean, nah. I mean, I'm born in '99, so
you got any R&B in your system?
Nah, I don't. I mean, it's cool. I listen to that if I'm like around girls or whatever. It's like it's just R&B is like some Drake or something.
So Drake, all right, cool. We can roll with Drake.
Guess.
We can meet halfway on Drake.
Right.
He raps and he sings. He got a little, hip hop. I'm with it.
Yeah, he's got a little baby face to him occasionally. Little feel.
Trippie Redd is.
Yeah.
All right, we're good. All right, we're good. I'm okay with that. I'm okay now.
Okay, the Scott Rochelle wants to see that bling, that championship ring. Is that it on your your right hand?
Bling.
Man, you doing curls with that? Your right bicep must be much larger than your left.
Look, man, I make sure I keep it on just to remind him. When he's either by himself or when he's working out, even now when he's doing dribbling, ball handling drills or on the treadmill, I put this in his face. There's nothing to say. Just feel this, and this motivation enough.
Nice. We just missed playing together with the Spurs by 1 year. I was there before they drafted Tim Duncan. I was on the team that helped them to get Tim Duncan just because they just lost so many games.
You on a team with Rodman?
No. Right before they drafted Tim Duncan, so with David Robinson, but when they had like Dominique and all them.
Much love to the Spurs, man.
Oh yeah, great organization.
Great organization, man. We had some battles against your old Jazz, man.
Oh yeah, great ones,
man. So I got to tell him all about this type of stuff, man. There's so many games and so many stories, but he's establishing his own thing now, Steve.
Yeah. So Jay, when you played, you had that 13-year career. You went undrafted like myself. You had to have really a special type of mentality to be successful as an undrafted free agent and to have such a long career like you did. How did you instill that work ethic, that kind of grinding mentality? Because your son, lottery pick, fourth pick, he's got a different path. So how did you instill that kind of grinding mentality into your son, in order to have that, long career like you did?
Yeah. I mean, I continue to remind him even to this day, that although he's a talented player that got picked, high pick, that there are a lot of players like myself and like yourself, the guys that were on that path, that journey, that journeyman that's trying to establish a basketball career. These guys are hungry. These guys are determined. They didn't get picked, but they can play. And they are coming after you and not just the top guys. There are guys these are the guys that you see in training camp. These are the guys that you run into you didn't hear about. Perhaps they came from a small school, or perhaps they were, these guys didn't play as much as they would have liked in college, and they're hungry. These guys are going after you. So I let him know that's, respect those guys as well. And he gets the message. He understands that. He values every guy, the superstar player on the team, all the way down to the 12th man on the team.
So Junior, did Pops bring out any of his old, Hoya tapes to show you when you were growing up?
Yeah, I saw a bunch of those, and then I mainly like the NBA games or what we watch now, because I mean they're better. The Spurs specifically, they were just better. We were watching better, better basketball. I think in college it was more efficient to watch college hoops or old college hoops, but now like I'm in the NBA, it's cool to watch the old NBA games. It's interesting. Little things are really different. It's funny. It's funny to watch.
What's different? What's different from back?
Yeah, what's the difference? What's the difference between the eras?
What's that? Y'all like crab dribble up the court. Y'all don't just dribble up the court. Y'all y'all like turn your back to the defender all the way up the court. Like,
will we carry the ball? Oh,
I'm saying y'all.
That's because they could hand check, and so you'd have guys like Derek Harper that would literally push you the way he wanted you to go. So you had to back up.
I don't really see that now. It almost looks like y'all are posting up all the way down the court. But yeah,
right.
Like I've seen Isaiah, even the great handlers, Isaiah Thomas, they would turn their back to the defender before they even get across half court. I just thought that was so funny. You don't see that now. There's not as much pressing now, and even if there is, it's one move. I'm going by you. If you touch me, you're going to call for a foul. Like you can't really,
Are you saying there's no defense in today's ball? Is that what you're trying to say?
No, not at all. I think there's defense. It's just I think people just want to score more. People just want to be scorers. Like I just feel like everybody wants to come in and score. So sometimes defense can slip your mind a little bit more these days because everybody wants to score. I want to score.
You want to score?
Yeah,
I definitely want you to score.
Shoot, everybody wants to score, man. Like it is what it is, but you got to play defense.
You got to play defense to win those championships. Like that big ring on his finger.
Yeah,
and to get some playing time. Look, I'm a journey trying to get this playing time. To get that, got to play some defense.
Mm.
So what are some other differences like the branding? Because like they were talking about before with the NBA Cares being different. Branding was a little bit different, when we played. Now you got guys with their social media presence. Talk a little bit about the difference in branding
you gotta just embrace like everything that comes with like the position you're in. Like, not everybody gets to play basketball at a high level And now that everything's on a phone. So like, I mean, from social media to speaking out on things, from the good it can do just as much bad if you don't handle it right. But if you're handling it right, you're handling your business, you can build your brand and build who you want to be known as, and do a lot of things that can prepare yourself for, like, even when you retire, and having an outlet to do other things. And, you know, little by little, you just find more interest, and you're letting like, it creates a lot of fan dialogue, a lot of good fan involvement. It gives them an outlook on, you know, what other things you're doing, like what you're doing at home, how you relate to them a little bit more, because they only see you on the court. So it's all fun. I'm in that generation, so it's easy for me to say that. It's just kind of all I know. Like, I mean, I probably had an Instagram since it came out in like middle, like 6th grade, 5th grade, maybe. I probably have the same Instagram since then.
What happened to Snapchat?
I still have that.
You got that? Facebook? You on Facebook?
See, look, you don't even look.
Look,
you don't know what I'm talking about.
All I got Twitter.
Exactly. You don't need anything else. It's nothing for, look, no disrespect. All y'all, it's okay.
I'm saying,
you know, stay on Twitter. I got Twitter too, but, like, you know,
I can't get Instagram.
I mean, you can.
This new. Like, you got some other stuff that's out, man. You got to help me with that, June.
Nah, he's okay. We ain't got nothing to post.
So how did your dad help you with all those things, like the branding and the different things that you're gonna experience when you get to the NBA? Like, how did that experience that he had help you?
I mean, he just keeps me focused on what's really important, which is working on your game, being focused, learning, being a student of the game, being grateful for, like, everybody who came before me, and know that, you know, basketball at the end of the day is what we're put on this planet to do. So, you know, it just keeps me focused on basketball, and that's the most important thing. And yeah, I mean,
you know what?
Basketball.
Part of me, as he describes, as I'm kind of old school. You know, when it comes to this social media or this internet stage, I'm not that old school. I would love to him to make sure he's careful with it as well.
Yeah.
Understand how to manage his social media. You're right. He mentioned what he says and what he shouldn't say, and he's done a great job with that. He understands it, and I think it's a lot of positives to it. Reaching out to his fans and having people following him, I just think that's great. And you can communicate with people. So I'm learning more and more, and I appreciate it, and I know he's doing the same. So as long as he's got a good head on his shoulders, so he'll be fine, no matter Instagram, Twitter, he's fine with it.
So, Junior, was there one thing that your dad told you as far as, like, look, this is what you need to expect when you get to the NBA, that one day you were playing or you're in practice or something, and, like, it came true and you're like, man, Pop said this was going to happen, and it happened. Did anything like that happen your first year?
Shoot. I mean, he just had such confidence in what I was gonna do. He knew I was gonna, you know, prove myself to my teammates and my organization that I can be a staple on the team. So I think any nerves that I had were just me, like, not knowing what was about to happen, and he just had a lot of confidence. So I kind of drew off that, and yeah, when everything started flowing, like, I understood what he was saying. He kind of could tell that, you know, with the right, I've been putting in a lot of work. I'm going to be ready for it based off the work I put in. He's seen the work I put in the summertime. I don't think anyone worked harder than me, in my opinion. And I just, you know, went out there and tried to prove it. Same thing the summer after that.
So his confidence in you translated into your confidence growing.
For sure, it definitely helped. I mean, I think confidence only you know, can take a hit if you just aren't aware of what's happening. And now that I've experienced the league a year and another year, I'm learning the different things, the different norms of the NBA that kind of help me settle down and really dial in and focus on the game. And yeah, you know, when you do anything a little bit more, it's comfort.
So, Jay, who was that for you that had that confidence in you, that believed in you, and then that translated into your confidence?
Ooh, man, let me see. I say my family, I got older brothers who played the game. They always talk about how talented they were, although they didn't. I went a little further in the game than they did, but they were pretty good players. You know, you run into those guys that were. You mentioned New Orleans, so I mean, I played with my older brothers were talented players, high school, and some of them played a little college ball, but you can't tell them that they weren't superstars when they were playing.
Right.
That's a motivation for me. You know, I had to be at least better than them, or go on when I got on a bigger stage, which was Georgetown at the time. I must, put on a good show. And they were my motivation at the time, and I just continued. I continued that throughout my career, as you know, as a journeyman. And you got to go out and try to, get a job. That was the mindset of guys back in the day. You got to go out for a job. We coming from NBA, CBA at the time. Now you got
talk about that CBA.
You got all that stuff. Yeah, but now you got the G League. Well, I was one of those guys. So those I think it was New Orleans, my folks, the grind of of all your folks back home trying to prove yourself that I can make it out here. So they prepared me for the moment of competing, and now having won a world championship and now having a son to play in the NBA, it's incredible, man. So I give a little credit to all my folks back home in New Orleans. Shout out to the who that.
Yeah.
Shout out to my Saints, man. Look at that. Facts. Come on now.
So when Junior was younger, did you train him in basketball?
Yes, no doubt.
What was that like?
Like I would imagine, like any father, they have a son that they think that can be a good athlete, or you want to put him in the sports. You want to figure out when can you do it? How soon can you have your son or daughter, or daughter, to play? And I must have put the ball in his hand as soon as he was able to stand up. And he had and I started training from the beginning, man. But I still remember as like a 7, 8 years old, having his first basketball goal in the driveway. And this kid knew he had a knack for putting the ball in the basket with either hand. And it didn't matter, the type of correct form and all that stuff. I wasn't with that. I was with, can you put it in the basket or not? And at an early age, he was able to do that. Throw the ball up to the goal just with any hand, and it went in. And so I tapped into his strengths. And that's been my motto as a coach, even to this day. Tap into the young person's strengths and enhance those strengths. And that's been my mindset towards his development. And it's been that way through grade school and now, and he's just blossomed into what we see now as a premier young big in the NBA with the Memphis Grizzlies. So it's been awesome.
So Junior, what was it like having, your pops, who's also your coach and your trainer? What was that like?
I mean, it was dope. I just think we were able to play a lot of one-on-one back then at the end of workouts. And, I mean, we shot a lot of threes always. So, I mean, we didn't know the game was going to go that way when everybody wants to shoot threes now. So I think it's just coincidence that I was always shooting threes at a young age just to have it in my bag. And now I'm able to show it like on the big stage. I'm able to shoot threes now. So I definitely am glad I started early.
When was that time when you finally beat him? Do you remember that game?
I think we have it on tape. I mean, we have it on the iPad somewhere.
He tried to cheat.
No, I didn't.
He tried to call a foul, and my mom, we had iPads, so my mom was recording the game, and then I looked at the iPad, like I went back and looked at it, and like right there, and I was like, nah, bro. Like I didn't touch you, check ball, and then I won. And then I started talking a lot of trash for a while, like a long time, probably a couple days. Like I was definitely talking trash because he always won. Like he always won games. Like I could never win, and It was very annoying.
Steve, I
So
knew.
how did that feel when you won though? How did that feel?
It was great. I mean,
Finally,
yeah, you know. Okay, great. Finally, you know. But like, I definitely was like, I needed bragging rights. So that was dope.
I knew the day was going to come, Steve, when your child ends up beating you, and you can't win anymore. You know, the day is coming. Will come, and when it happened, although he felt like, you know, he was feeling just great, finally winning games and beating me, I was so proud. Although I lost the game, I knew he was on his way to some great things in this game. And but you can't tell him right then and there. You know, you see it. And he just continued that. So nowadays, I won't dare say, let's play. You know, if I try to, like, it's more, let's get some shots up, you know, shooting game or something like that, man. Come on.
What about Horse? What about Horse? Can you still roll with him in Horse?
No, he's not rocking with me now, man.
He's hitting. I can't. I'm trying to shoot the little tweener.
It's been a while. I'm trying to shoot bank shots.
Yeah, bank tweeners.
Yeah,
at angles, hoping it'll affect his shot. But this dude makes shots everywhere.
Hey, that's when you know it's over when you're doing that. He's trying to figure out ways. It ain't gonna work. It ain't gonna.
Come on, man. Horse. That's all right. Long as the shot goes in, man.
So the Jackson family, you guys are pretty unique because basketball is like a family affair. Can you talk about how basketball has affected your family and just how it's kind of like a family business with you guys?
You know, it's been incredible, man, to see my son doing his thing in the game. Of course, many know about my history as a journeyman, but you're right. You know, my wife is doing some great things in the game as well. As the head of the WNBA Players Association, she is, you know, she's making great strides and doing the best for a lot of women who are deserving of being able to showcase their game and play at a high level. And I'm so happy that she's blossomed into an incredible executive as the head of their union. So shout out to the WNBA and the players. I know the NBA is ready to come back to play, hoping to come back, and WNBA players will be coming back along with them. At least I hope, and we can see some.
So you're talking about your wife Terry Jackson, who's the first executive director of the WNBA. So that must, you know, give your family a lot of confidence, particularly when it comes to contract negotiations for your son, because you guys know the numbers, and I mean, you guys are kind of like royalty in basketball because there's nowhere that you haven't touched. Your dad with the championship, you know, now your son playing now, your wife with the WNBA side. So that's a very unique experience for a family.
Dog.
Yeah. We love it at all levels. Man. We love it at all levels, man. From grade school hoops, grassroots, college, pros, women, men, girls.
There's nothing else.
Was that? Can I say girls and women?
There's nothing else. He's about to go on a whole like list.
We love hoops, man. You know, we all hoopers, right?
So Junior, I noticed you do a lot of community service stuff with girls in particular. I know you've been doing some workouts and when we were allowed to not socially distance, you would have camps. So how has your mom's influence kind of affected the way you look at your community service and what you try to get back to the game?
I mean, I always knew my purpose was to speak up for people who don't have a voice or who want more of a voice, who need more of a voice and whatnot. So I always cared about that. I always cared about working with the youth, and with my mom getting involved in stuff like she does, I kind of combined everything and had a all girls symposium where I had girls teams come and play in a camp setting. Nike helped me. I had Asia Wilson there. So it was great. It was unbelievable. I seen girls pass out when they saw Asia. We ended up talking to them about many different things. You know, it just was an all around good experience for them to feel good, feel like they can pretty much do anything. It was very competitive. That's the main thing I wanted to bring out of everybody was just competitive spirit. Everybody was playing hard. Everybody was trying to win. Like anything we did, any drill, any game we had, and yeah, it was great. I'm definitely glad I got to do it before all this happened. But that was amazing.
So how are you able to, kind of stay in shape and keep that playing mindset with this layoff? Because I know that must be hard because you don't know when or if it's going to come back.
Yeah, I mean, you got to run on the treadmill. Some of my family, we take walks around the neighborhood or wherever around the block sometimes, make sure you're social distancing in that kind of way. But definitely, whenever you can, just get on the treadmill, get on the elliptical, lift weights. We have a bike here too. There's a lot of different things. We have a whole weight room here, so it's pretty easy for us to kind of stay in tone. Basketball wise, you just gotta make sure, literally work on your handles in the driveway, work on your handles in your house, wherever. Keep touching the ball, keep making sure you're doing those sort of things. But I mean, yeah, as soon as we can get on the court, that'll be great, and I'm gonna be forever grateful.
Hey, I know he misses being on the court, but I remind him that jump shot is like riding a bicycle. You'll never know how to do it. It will be there. I know you need a little refresher, you need to get on the court, but I'm not worried. It's going to go in even when you get back on the court, and the day will come. As long as you stay in relatively, some decent shape, you'll be okay.
Everything's cool. Trust me.
There's that Pop's confidence we're talking about right there.
Yeah, man. You can't get down on yourself. It's everybody's taking a hit, so it is what it is.
Right.
So I just wanted to chime in with a viewer question before we wrap up, but I also didn't want this episode to end without talking a little bit about the changes in fashion in the NBA between your two generations. So me and Jaren Jr., it's kind of like every time you guys walk into an arena now, it's a fashion show. You got to come looking correct, and you have to have stuff being, put a certain way. You have to accessorize, make sure your gear bag is designer. And so far, you've been killing the game on this side. Like, you're really showing up to go to work to play basketball.
I mean, yeah, you gotta embrace the whole thing. Like, there's no reason, like, to not look good when you're going to do your job or when you're going to handle.
You mean like this?
I mean,
that dude is sharp. Oh man.
I mean, yeah, it's definitely back then they had to wear like suits. I think like a bunch of weird stuff. Like, just,
that wasn't weird, man.
It's not weird, but like it's nice, just it's whatever. I kind of like to you express yourself with your clothing. It's something that I like doing. I like wearing stuff that makes people like wonder, or just get upset or say something. Like I like that reaction. It's funny because at the end of the day, I'm just having fun. But yeah, definitely should wear a nice fit to your job, man. You gotta go take care of business.
Yep. And I'm sure it helps on the branding side, and so what Steven was talking about, and you're just laying it up for a future modeling career, man. That's what you're doing.
Not a question.
Drip. Your drip. I don't know what.
All right. So this is a viewer question that comes from Facebook. We would like to know, if you guys had a chance to play against another father-son NBA duo, 2-on-2, or I'm going to interject since you guys have such a strong WNBA connection, if it was a mother-son duo or any type of familial NBA, WNBA duo, who would you guys play in 2-on-2? And I'm going to up the ante. Who would win?
I'll let you answer that, man. I'm trying to think.
I'd want to see the Tim Hardaway. And but that'd be kind of hard for Pops to guard that crossover, though. I think he could guard that.
I like my guy Gary Trent. I've known him for a minute, and his dad, so that would be interesting.
I don't know if Pops could handle that Debo Pops Trent.
Yeah, that I don't know, man.
That's a lot.
I'm trying to think. Who do you know, dude? Think about
father, son. Let me see.
My mind's going blank right now.
Oh, but hold up. Let's see here.
The Sabonis, but that's a lot of beef down on the block too.
You know what? How about my man Harvey Grant and his son Jeremy?
Yeah.
A few sons that have played in the league, and so we'll have fun with those guys, man. It'd be a lot of little trash talking here and there, but I think everybody in the family could shoot.
Mm-hmm.
You got to stay up. You can't help too much.
Right.
That'd be good.
Well, I mean, shoot, Zaire Wade might be on that in a little bit when Zai gets to the league. When he gets to the league, he's younger than me now, but when he gets to the league, I want that him.
Okay.
D Wade, you already know.
D Wade,
that'd be fun.
What about Bronny and Bron? What about that one?
Oh yeah, for sure them too. But I know. Like Zai more. I've been around, so it'd be more bragging rights.
Right. Shall look? Oh, okay. All right. Currys.
Yeah.
All right. Thompsons. Those guys.
Yeah, Michael Thompson. That's still a lot of beef down on the block, and Clay. The jumpers.
You gotta make shots, man.
We're giving Daddy Thompson that jumper nowadays. We're gonna give him that. We got to help on his son. Got to help out on Clay, man.
Well, speaking of fashion, who inspired the Diddy White all fashion between you two? Y'all came in here correct.
I had this shirt, and I was like, all right, like go. I told him to go put on whatever, and then like he comes down with this on, and I'm like, all right, man. I didn't know you was about to do this, but go ahead, wear it.
I didn't know
he was about to wear it.
I just wanted some. It's the daytime. I don't know. It's nice outside. It's
all right.
Getting warm.
Chocolate look good in white sometimes, man. You know what I'm saying?
I like that. This is the guy with all the fashion, man. The guy, his fashion game has stepped up. Man.
Yo, I'm funny, man. I swear.
I love it.
I swear.
So how have you helped your dad with his fashion? You try to help him out at all, or because your dad, we used to rock the big suits with I look at some of my pictures from when we played and all these big suits, and my first couple years with ESPN, finally I had to get me some tailored fitted suits, but man, we were killing the big shoots that we could parachute off planes with our shoots. They were so big.
Chief has good suits. Chief has good suits upstairs. Chief has some good fits, like some good sweatsuits now. I think it kind of that's where it kind of ends though. Like there's no you don't need the rest of that. Like there's a whole
I think he's gonna go through my wardrobe and eliminate some stuff.
Ain't no need for all that, man. When I'm like old dad in my whatever in my ways, I'm probably just gonna be I'm lying. I'm probably still gonna be
Steve. What's up with these jogger pants, man? I mean they're hurting me, man. I'm trying, I'm trying, man. And I don't want to be accused of wearing high waters, as they say back in the day, or ankle whatever,
flooding. Yeah.
Well, that's what they wear now. So I gotta kind of get with the program, I guess. I don't know. Help me out, son, with the wardrobe, man. Maybe. But he's got a good style.
I've worn the craziest stuff, man. People all the time will tell me, man, what are you wearing?
You guys pretty edgy, man.
Be like, bro, I don't care, bro. If you say something about it, then obviously I did what I was supposed to do.
Well, guys, I want to thank both of you for your time. I'm honored to interview both of you. Great seeing my dude, Jaren Sr. I'll see you on the road in the future. And Jaren Jr., good luck in your career and keeping in shape and all that stuff. And, try not to, get in too many battles on those Uno games, because I know how competitive your dad can be. So that's it for today's episode of Legends Live. Jaren Sr. and Jaren Jr., thank you so much for being our guests. To all those watching, thank you for tuning in. Be sure to check out legendsofbasketball.com/Legends Live for a video gallery of previously recorded episodes. We hope you'll join Legends Live on Tuesday for the next episode with legend and former NBA coach Kenny Gaddison and Hall of Fame coach John Calipari. Until then, take care, stay safe, wash your hands, and stay home, everybody.
Much required.